Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom Airsoft. It's good to see you again. If it's your first time here, then as always, it is good to see you, and I hope you're going to stick around. Okay, well, welcome to our weekend video. Those of you who've been following the channel already probably know we look to upload a video every weekday, normally on a Wednesday, and we always do a video at the weekend, normally on a Saturday. Normally look to try and get gameplays up midweek and follow-up tests of any replicas or things that we've been looking at, testing in the field. At the moment, I'm still sort of injured, so I've not been able to get out on the field, unfortunately. So we are doing 2 studio videos a week just now. We normally look to discuss all things Airsoft, replica reviews, gear reviews, that kind of thing, everything in between. We try and cover it all from a more affordable perspective and from a beginner's perspective in some ways. So if you have been enjoying my series of videos, then do get subscribed to the channel. That way you won't miss any of my uploads. And I hope you're going to enjoy what we're looking at today. So with that all out of the way, what are we going to be looking at today? Well, here we have my ARP9. As many of you know, one of my favourite replicas. A great little AEG, superb in the field. Used it loads of times. It's getting on a bit now and still going strong. Now I thought it was about time I made some minor changes to this, so I bought a new item. If you saw my previous video on the Titan lithium-ion battery, we were trying to get a lithium-ion to fit in here with the Airtech Studios battery extension unit and a Titan 11.1. We had some fitment issues. So I thought another option might be to change the buttstock on it. Take away this PDW stock and go with something a bit more substantial. Been meaning to do it for a while as well because I thought it might look cool. When the parts arrived, I actually have my doubts whether the battery will fit in it. I might have needed to go for a bigger stock. But I thought what we could do today is change the stock together. I've never done it before, so I don't know what to expect. But hopefully, if you're thinking of changing to a buffer tube or a solid stock on your ARP9 or ARP556, because this will work for both, they have the same buttstock, then this will hopefully help you out. So that's what we are going to look at today. So first of all, let's have a look at the stock I bought to replace this one. Put that to one side. Right, this is how it came. This was from Zeroone Airsoft. The price of one of these is £24.99, so 25 British pounds, give or take a penny, which is not a bad price. Not a bad price at all for a new stock. Let's get that bag out of the way. Right, so what do you get? Okay, well there's the stubby stock. It's what we call a stubby M16 stock. So it's a little bit shorter than the stock that you would normally have on an M16, which I thought might fit in better with the look of the ARP9, but it might cause me battery fitment issues with the Titan. But as you can see, it's a hollow stock, if you can make that out on camera, and it's going to give you loads of room for your MOSFET, your wiring, and any LiPo battery you choose to put in there. So a lot more room than the PDW stock, either way. So what do you get? Well, with your 25 British pounds, you get the buttstock itself, which seems good quality plastic. An extra long buffer tube screw, so that we can attach this to the rear of our upper receiver. It'll thread into the rear of your spring guide. You get a metal butt plate. Now this, I'm really impressed. It's really good quality. It's solid metal, no plastic on here. It's got a little clip for your flip down window for putting your battery in. So that's great. And again, it just seems really good quality, really well made. So I'm impressed with that. And in this little bag here, you get a cap. This cap is to fill in the space at the end here when you're mounting it to your replica. So you get the cap, which is plastic. You get a metal sling mount with 01 written on it. Yeah, again, pretty basic. And you also get a screw for attaching said sling point. And that's your complete kit that you get with the 01 stubby stock kit. Now, you know I mean business when I've got my vinyl gloves on. The tools I think we'll need for this job, having never done it before, I've got my trusty buffer tube screwdriver. With the ARP9, I don't think you'll need a buffer tube screwdriver necessarily, not one this long anyway, but I use this for AR replicas and things. This makes it a lot easier to undo the screws in buffer tubes. So well worth having, so we're going to need that. And I've also got another screwdriver for doing these exterior screws when I can't be bothered using the really long one, because it'll become fiddly. Both of these are posi drive screwdrivers, also known as Phillips head. That's what the screws tend to be. However, I have just noticed that on these screws that come with the zeroone kit, they are flathead screws, which, if I'm being completely honest with you, I'm not a big fan of. I don't like flathead screws. I would rather have posi drive, Phillips head, or hex keys, or Allen keys as they're also known. So we are also going to need a flathead screwdriver, which luckily enough I happen to have. So we've got a large flathead screwdriver. So that's hopefully all the tools that we'll need to complete this job. So what do we do first? Well, I think the first thing we probably need to do is remove the stock. If you have an ARP9 already, you'll know how to do this because you'll have had to do it to put your battery in. So we'll take that off. Got your end cap, which again, you need to take off to put your battery in, so you should have done that before. And then we'll remove the wiring loom and get that out of the way. Okay, well, that is definitely a Phillips head screw in the end of there, which is good. That's what you normally get. So if you can see, I don't know if you can make it out in the end of the camera, but at the bottom of that tube, we have a Phillips head screw. So let's go ahead and remove that screw. That should be our first port of call for getting this section here removed. So I'll just go ahead and do that just now. Okay, once the screw is loose, then it should just drop out. And there's our Phillips head screw. Now at this point, now that we've got the Phillips head screw out of the way, we don't want to lose any of these parts, so keep them all together in case you ever do want to put the PDW stock back on. The next problem we're going to have is getting the wiring and MOSFET out of the way. You have a metal disc that you might notice in the end. There we go. Usually if you just shake it, it'll come out. So that's your metal disc. You don't want to lose that. You need that for putting this PDW stock back on. So put that to one side, that can go with our screw. And then very carefully, we're going to remove the wiring loom out of this buffer stock as best we can. Very carefully, there we go, and that is your PDW stock off and complete. And we're left with the back of our ARP9 bare and hopefully ready to receive a new stock. So let's put that to one side as well. Now then, we'll take our stubby stock, which hopefully this will be easy to fit. I'm mega confident it's going to fit well, but we shall see. We're going to need this on the top here to fill in that gap. That sits like that, which basically means it sits, and it should sit over like so. Okay, if you can see that, that just mounts over what would be your buffer tube mounting, which we don't have a buffer tube in this. We'll feed our wiring into the stubby stock, like so. And then in theory, the stubby stock should hopefully mount up, or offer up as the saying goes, which is easier said than done. Just let me get that to offer up, as it were. There we go. Right, so that's how it should sit. Make sure you don't pinch any of the wires. The next thing we're going to need to do is mount this end cap onto the end of the stock. So if you see, get your wiring out the way, and then this should mount. I think what we might do to make it easier, give us some more space, is we'll run the wire out of the hole that's there for it, and we don't damage anything. So that should sit in there, and then this big long screw will go in the end here and hold it all together. So I'm just going to do that because I'm going to have to hold the gun in a way that you might not see on camera. Right, okay, so we've got, sorry about that, it does make it easier if you hold the replica like that, guys, so it all stays together. But basically your long screw goes in the top hole, and that's going to reach all the way down to screw into the back, where the small screw came off for the ARP PDW stock. So, that is us now connected. We've got the top screw in. Now we need to get this bottom screw in. Now what we do with that is basically you have your little sling mount here. What tends to happen is you can mount it that way, but it doesn't go that way, it goes that way. We have this other screw that we've got here. Now that should thread into the screw thread in the sling mount. So get it started if you can. And then again, we're going to wind that in using our flathead screwdriver, which I am doing just now. It should start to tighten up. That'll pull your buttstock in, get everything nice and tight. Okay. And that, as they say, guys, is that. Let's just have a peek around the replica just now and see how it looks. I quite like it. Let's have a close-up and see what you think of it with the stubby stock. Okay guys, so that little guide there on how to mount a stubby stock, or indeed any M16 based solid stock to your ARP9. As you can see, very easy job, nothing much to it. I actually think that it looks really cool when it's on there. Space wise now, for batteries, we've got oodles of space in the back. We've got much more play for the wiring. Hopefully you can make that out on camera. I don't know whether you will be able to, but you've now got all of this stock available as an empty cavity in which to wrap your wire in, which is going to keep it cooler because it's not all squashed up. It also means you've got a much bigger selection of batteries. If you like the PDW stock, which I did like it, then you know that's fine. But there you go. We now have a very nice looking ARP9 that looks a little bit different with this stubby stock. The big moment of truth is, can I get that Titan battery to fit? I doubt it, but we'll give it a go, shall we? Let's see how it fits. Okay guys, well there's the Titan battery. I don't think we're going to get that to fit in there, do you? I certainly don't think that's going to fit. But I shall see if it will. I think if I'd have gone with a full-size M16 stock, which would be an option, might look a bit weird because it will come out to about here, but a full-size M16 stock would certainly fit this battery, I think, without issue. Let's get the wires out. Right, that's the wires out the way. Let's have a look. So no, I don't think it's going to fit, guys. Not far off though. Not far at all. So there we go, not far at all off it fitting. If we'd have a full length M16 stock, then I certainly think that would have fit. So what I might do next time, I do like the look of this stubby stock, it looks cool. But I think next time we'll go with a full length M16 stock. I think the upshot is though, if you had a nunchuck 11.1 one of these Titans, that would fit. you'd be able to get that in through that hole, and because it'll be a little bit shorter because it's nunchuck, it would fit in there. So that could be an option. A nunchuck style 11.1 would fit in there. As for lipos, there won't be many lipos you can't fit in there now. You'll pretty much fit any lipo in there. It'll certainly be easier changing batteries on it than it used to be. And you're not going to compress all your wiring. So there you go. That was just a little short guide because I was excited about fitting this and seeing how it fit to my replica and seeing how it looked. So I just wanted to do a short guide on how you change it. So as I say, basically it's very easy. You take the outside of your PDW stock off like you were changing a battery, take the butt cap off as if you were changing a battery, and then basically use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove this screw, which is in the center here. That will leave you with this disc holding it on. If you give it a gentle shake, the disc should fall out, and then you'll be able to pull away your PDW stock. And if you keep hold of those items, maybe in the bag that this stock came in, you can always put it back if you ever want to. Now, the process is exactly the same if you wanted to put a standard buffer tube on there and AR style stock or a crane stock. The process is exactly the same. Remove your PDW stock as I showed you, and then replace, instead of having the long screw, you'll put your buffer tube on where we mounted this to. You will feed your screw down, and you'll have another little metal cap that will hold the buffer tube in place. And then you can put any crane stock of your choice on there. But I just think it looks really cool with this little stubby stock. It's just my cup of tea. Everything should still work fine. The replica should function as it did before. But now we've got this really small stubby stock. You get right tucked in on it. I really like it. So I hope you like it. And I hope this was helpful if you have an ARP9 or 556. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned because I have got a lot of plans for this ARP9. It's getting on a bit now, so I am due for doing a takedown on it and cleaning it up. Just same as taking down any other version 2 based replica or AR based replica. But I am going to plan to do some upgrades on it. So hopefully get it shooting a little bit better than it is now. I'm hoping to do a review on the Perun ETU++, which is specific for G&G ETU based replicas. So stay tuned for that. When I can get one in, I will do a review on that and see how it performs. But as for now, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like the video, if you found it useful, then please do drop a like on it. And as always, if you're enjoying my series of videos, then do please subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or any comments about ARP9s or Airsoft in general or any questions for me, then do drop a comment below. I'll always respond to comments. Might not get back to you straight away, but I will always respond. And apart from that, thanks very much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.